What's poppin', YouTube? Welcome back. Today we're actually checking out something a little bit different. Gamer of the Year himself, Moist Critical, aka Charlie, aka Penguin Zero, has released a new video talking about the Epstein files. And I wanted to watch this on my own time, but I'm already live streaming, so I was like, might as well just record it and throw it on YouTube with my reaction to Charlie. Woohoo! So I have no idea what the update is because I was asleep when this video came out. But I'm excited to see what the update is about the Epstein files, because honestly, we need to expose every single person. I don't care what your political affiliation is. Expose the scum of the earth and let them burn. So yeah, let's get into it. Before we get started, the like button, subscribe button, leave a comment down below to feed the algorithm quads. Original video will be linked in the description down below. Always go support the original video. Go support Charlie. He's amazing and incredible. And I don't need to tell you that again. I'm gonna say it again anyways, though. He's amazing and incredible. So let's get into it. Code word for today, so no, you did not skip this intro, is files. Feel like it's pretty obvious. Let's do it.
I can't believe it. The title is not clickbait. This is big. Color me blue and call me a smurf. I'm looking real stupid right now because I've been quite the Scrooge humbugging, saying that it'll never happen. They'll never release the Epstein files. And look what happens. Random Friday evening, they drop these puppies. Oh, you know, the same Epstein files that the government also tried to say aren't real are actually a huge hoax and you're an idiot if you believe in them? They're like the Tooth Fairy or something? No such thing? Oh, well, here's those Epstein files that we said not long ago.
Yeah, it's like really frustrating. Is that like Trump's whole campaign, one of the things that he was like talking about in general was the fact that he was going to expose the Epstein files. And then instantly when he got in, he goes, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And then he goes, yeah, no, they don't exist. And then he goes, oh yeah, no, they exist, but they're made by the Democrats. And then he like kept just changing everything every 2 seconds to fit whatever narrative he wanted. And it's like super lame because it's like, I don't really give a shit which political party is affiliated with it. Because everybody who's rich and honestly so morally bankrupt that they even interacted with this human being is there, right? It has nothing to do with the political party. It has everything to do with just shit people. Expose them all, right? God damn.
Weren't real, by the way. Finally, all of the information on all of these evil pedophiles right here at our fingertips. We get one sentence and then pretty much everything else redacted. And this isn't some isolated incident where I'm cherry picking shit. The bulk of these files are heavily redacted, and heavily doesn't even do it justice. It's so beyond that. Like, it is redacted to a comical degree where it would be laughable if it wasn't just so blatantly evil. Like, look at the thumbnail here. You could close your eyes and see the same thing that these files show you, which is just nothing. Darkness. I always said if they do release it, it'll probably be heavily redacted. I didn't even expect it to be this extreme. This is crazy. They don't even let like a couple of like rogue words fly, like random like the or and. It's all just blacked out emptiness. They released hundreds of pages of it's
I think that actually might be worse than them not releasing it at all. Because that just proves, when they were saying it wasn't real, it proves that they had it the whole time and it is real. And now they put it out completely redacted, meaning they don't trust anyone, and they don't trust the public. Why? Why can't we have that information? Like, what? This is actually so fucked.
Fucking believable. Yeah, we've really got these evil pedophiles on the ropes now that the most transparent administration in history has dropped these puppies fresh on our laps here. Look at this. Wow, we've really got them now. We've got them cornered. Surely they'll be held accountable with this out there.
We'll talk about blacking out. I don't know if I can get a close-up of my phone. This is one of the documents that the Justice Department released. It's 100 pages.
Right,
this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see. It's all black. It's just 100 pages of redaction. That's the transparency we're getting here.
I want you to look at the lower thirds that CNN is putting up here. Trump DOJ releases trove of Epstein files. As if it's a good thing. As if he's released the big vault of all of these files. They didn't release shit! There's nothing in it but just black pages of nothing! It's a fucking void! 100 pages of a void! What do you mean?
Right, and I'll point to...
This is like the LaCroix of Epstein files, where it's the idea of the files themselves, not actually providing anything. Imagine scrolling through those 100 pages of just pure void emptiness. What the fuck? That is absurd. Now,
it's crazy. He also said the void. Yeah.
It's not just these empty files that they plopped out there in the open. They did also provide a lot of new photos that show people like Bill Clinton with Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell, as well as like Chris Tucker, even Michael Jackson. Like, there were a large amount of photos that weren't previously public. And in those photos, there are individuals whose identity is redacted. They have like the giant black square over them. They've been censored. And I thought that was supposed to be for victims, you know? But according to what I read, this actually comes from Fox News. They said the Justice Department redacted the names and identifiers of victims. Fox News Digital has learned that the same redaction standards were applied to politically exposed individuals and government officials. What
the... Protect every rich pedophile is what the government is saying. That... If you have money and political power, you are literally above the law. That is what that's all this is. It's something we've known this whole time, but to be so public and to be so outwardly stated is crazy. Right? We all knew this. This is not new information. But to say it flat out is crazy.
the fuck? Why would those same redaction standards be applied to politically exposed individuals? That's like the most important individual to be exposed in these Epstein files. Why would that under any circumstances be suitable for a redaction? That's fucking crazy. So like they can just be censored out like it's fucking Super Smash Bros. Melee when you're about to unlock a new fighter through like a challenge approaching you. Why? That makes no sense. That should just be reserved solely for the victims here. I don't understand, if this is true, why they would be able to redact that kind of information on politically exposed individuals. And it doesn't apply to all politically exposed individuals, clearly, because Bill Clinton is completely unmasked here. He is just like raw out in the open in these photos, as well as others, like I mentioned. So it was, I guess there was exceptions for some of them. I'm not exactly sure how the ruling all worked. It's
I'm sorry. Were they just like, well, it looks better for Trump if we show Bill Clinton's face? Like, what the fuck, man? Sure, show Bill's face. I'm not saying don't, but show the other motherfuckers' faces too. Why are we fucking around here? Like, that's so stupid. Like, what the fuck, man?
There's like a bunch of like nuance to it here. It's very confusing, but under no circumstances should there have been exceptions for these politically exposed individuals in the Epstein files and photos. That's really peculiar.
Bro, I lost face tracking for a second. I was shaking my head so violently. I was shaking my head so violently. My tracking gave up. That's crazy. I got so upset.
Seems extremely corrupt because they should all be going to jail. Like, take for example Bill fucking Clinton here. This guy's like the Ronald McDonald to Jeffrey Epstein's empire of child sex trafficking. This guy is in so many photos with so much evidence to support how deeply involved he was as a client. Mm-hmm. We now have even more photos of him, and still nothing has happened to Bill Clinton. The only person with more photographs with Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell is Trump. And
yep.
Speaking of Trump, he is doing everything in his power to ensure Maxwell has the easiest time imaginable. Maxwell, the only person, by the way, who has ever faced even an iota of punishment for all of the innumerable...
Oh my God. Did any of you see Maxwell's fucking interview? The recent one, where they're asking her questions. And she goes, I just don't really know. Jeffrey and I weren't really close. But do you know who I am close to? I really love President Trump. He had no idea about what was going on, and I admire that man. The interviewer's like looking like, what the fuck? I didn't ask you about Trump, right? Like, what the fuck? And then she kept bringing Trump up, even though the interviewer wasn't asking about him. The interview kept asking, oh, so like with your relationship with Jeffrey, she goes, I wouldn't call it a relationship. We slept together only once, but we weren't really that close. But when it comes to Trump, he had no idea. Right? And it's like, dude, it's so fucked, man. The amount of shit she's getting fed because Trump is giving her so much leniency is disgusting. She was literally called more evil than Epstein by one of the victims. Yeah, her whole thing was literally taking the girls, grooming them in, and then luring them into Epstein. That was her whole thing. Like, what the fuck is she? Insane.
Unthinkable, heinous crimes with Jeffrey Epstein's empire of child sex trafficking. The only person who faced even the slightest punishment, he has now ensured went from a prison to a fucking summer camp where she gets to, like, pet training service dogs now.
Yeah. Yeah. He's literally like, oh, let's make her life better. And now that he improved her living circumstances, she did this interview where she starts just fucking dick riding Trump. It's insane.
And she lives luxuriously there. It's pretty weird. I think it's very odd that these files are so heavily redacted. I think there's also a very good chance that the photos released were probably not the entire kit and caboodle. I would bet there were probably even more photos that we don't have access to and have probably been completely burned and buried somewhere that just don't exist anymore. That would be my guess. And if you're wondering about any new photos of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein or Maxwell, there's not really anything new there, but he does appear in a few of these photos they released, like this one where there is a framed photo of him with Jeffrey Epstein and Melania in between, as well as this right here where you can see two different pictures of Trump in the drawer. So overall, no like new photos of them together, but there is a framed one and a couple in that drawer, so he did like to keep photos of Trump around of the two when they hung out.
Yeah, they took months to redact it, round the clock man hours, man. It's all they had to do was just take black like paint and just start swiping it across the pages at that point.
And it's hard to say if there's any new evidence there because there isn't anything new in the files themselves since it's all fucking redacted. So the only thing like new here are some of these photographs, which also are redacted. And while I thought it was supposed to be...
Someone in chat just goes, give us black construction paper. At that point, they might as well do that. And it's like, the one thing that America has that, like, you know, people talk about a lot is free speech and like the freedom of information and things like that, right? And it's like, your government is having such heavy censorship right now to this extent for pedophiles. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Reserved solely for victims. It seems as though there is the potential that it was also used to hide politically exposed individuals. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed or not, but there is now a lot of hoopla saying that this doesn't comply with what was actually sought, and they are looking to pursue further action because they redacted so much that they weren't allowed to. So I guess we'll see how it all shakes out, but holy shit, I still cannot believe what they released here in the state that it is. I can't believe they thought this would go over well with literally anybody to release
it made it even worse
of pure redactions. That's unbelievable. But as far as the new photos go, I don't see how that's not actionable to at least try and investigate further. In particular, someone like Bill Clinton, who's here constantly. This guy's popping up like it's Where's Waldo, but he's really easy to spot. I don't understand how, if all this information has existed for this long, and even in this administration that was denying its existence, why don't they do anything about what they have? I feel like it should warrant, at the very least, some further poking around to see what the fuck was happening here. Like, it just makes no sense to me until you start to realize that all of these people in power, this administration, the previous administration too, who also didn't release anything of substance when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein case, still nobody's been punished. It's very clear when you realize that there are people on both sides of the political aisle here that are implicated, and should someone like Bill Clinton fall, there's a chance that many others do too, that they...
That's exactly what I'm with Charlie on, where it's like, it's not about, like, I want everyone who has harmed children to go down. I don't give a fuck what political side you're on. You are not allowed to be in charge of anything. If you've hurt people, you should be locked in jail. That's what it comes down to. And it's like, the way that this is being like handled is so sad and sickening.
Don't want being exposed. I think that's probably why there's been so little action being taken. It's just so fucking sickening how blatant this corruption is, just out in the open. And now with these documents they released, if you can even call them that, it's even more clear as day just how deep this rot goes. It's fucking absurd. Anyway, I had to yap about this a bit. That's it. See ya.
God damn. I guess that makes sense why my phone didn't blow up when the files dropped. I was sleeping. I was like, me, 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 me. You know what I'm saying? I was doing that shit. I was sleeping. No one blew up my phone. Because I feel like if the actual name started dropping, people would have been losing their shit. But yeah, of course, nothing really happened. Because, yeah, Jesus Christ, that's so bad. But yeah, Charlie always being the GOAT. We love to see it. We love to see him. Yeah, because I was going to watch this on my own anyways. I was like, oh, might as well just do it on stream because I want to watch this video. I'm live. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, YouTube. We'll catch you later. Original videos linked in the description down below. And, this is fucked. We'll see you later. Bye.